A coaching client asked me, how can I stay focused when I have all these things that keep pulling me off task? It's a great question. I want to share the tools that I shared with my client that you can use to get back to focus or stay focused yourself. We're going to call this your Focus Recalibration Protocol, or FRP for short. Now, when you're creating your FRP, there are 4 things that matter the most. Tracking for your approach and for understanding your reward, the not to-do list, your highest goal, and knowing how to physiologically focus better. So, let's jump right in. First, how do you know what is pulling your focus away? You need to track. And this serves 2 purposes. When you track, you can identify the 20% of the things that cause 80% of the issues. For those, I want you to do 2 things. Go ahead and change your environment to avoid the issue, of course. And second, I want you to create a routine for how you approach your work when those issues tend to arise. Not the issue, but the work. It's like creating a rule or a heuristic for what to do. And this is so that you aren't guessing at how to avoid something or getting upset at yourself for not being able to get back to work. For instance, if you work in IT, calls can be an issue that you're constantly worrying about, but you also need to be able to get projects done. You might approach each time that you come back to your desk by taking 2 big breaths and sitting down at your computer, focusing your visual field on your home screen for 30 seconds, and then getting going. If there's a call, perhaps you stand up, or you turn your chair, but you immediately redo your FRP and after the call and get back to work. The second thing tracking can be useful for is motivation, and it's the best kind of motivation. When you track, you can start streaks. You can see progress. You can use this to act like a pro, not an amateur, because pros do their best to never miss twice. Thank you, James Clear, for that tip. When you experience progress, physically, you're going to feel good because your brain is going to release the neuromodulator dopamine, but it's going to be releasing it in relation to the effort. Now, this is important because it's not going to cause dopamine spikes, which can cause drops in your dopamine baseline, which might make you feel worse later. Track progress to make the effort, not the payoff, feel like the reward. Next, a very successful, very wealthy, and wise friend of mine told me once that he does not have to-do lists. I leaned in. He has not to-do lists. Okay, why? He said he never had a problem with the motivation to want to get things done, but he had issues with things getting in the way. So he made his effort, his to-do, the effort of elimination. And this is something that I do now too. Currently on my list, I have no evening TV or no midday internet news on my list. I think if you start this that you're going to enjoy it immensely. And it follows closely with one of my favorite blog posts of all time, Subtraction by Derek Sivers, which you can see in this video here. Number 3, it's not trivial to say, have a highest goal. Now, if you're getting off track, it's probable that you have not categorized the importance of your efforts properly. When you know what you care about, you can be free from the things that you don't care about. It has to be something that you've chosen though, that's the important part. When you have a really big goal, something that's important to you, something that you've chosen, you are motivated because you want to. And that type of motivation is associated with lower automatic attraction towards stimuli that are going to trip you up. This means that having a highest goal, something important that we're working towards, keeps us from focusing on the little things that don't matter. Now you might say, but Jack, I don't know what mine is. Sure, I get it. Especially if you're younger, or if you have circumstances where your basic needs are barely or not being met. Maslow's hierarchy of needs shows that it's very hard to consider prospects related to self-actualization and purpose when we are concerned about basic needs. By the way, Maslow didn't conceive of the hierarchy of needs as a pyramid, but it's a useful visual. When you don't know your highest goal, or when you have challenges making it hard to see what it is, one simple way to start is to start with what you value. The key is to have something that guides your decisions to keep you moving forward, and for that you need a target. Your values are a great place to start. Now, how do you know when you're making decisions based on your values? When you're moving towards them, you're going to be energized. When you're moving away from them, you're going to feel like you're expending energy. And you're gonna know it because you're gonna be able to move towards what you want rather than avoid things you don't want. By the way, avoidance is a dangerous thing. Don't avoid challenges and emotions. You only give them power, and when you avoid, the only outcome is to revert back to habitual ways of thinking and acting. If you need a future date to go along with your values, pick something with a future. Not 3 months out, try 3 years out, or even better, 13 years out. If you ever want some help with your highest goals, just go ahead and reach out to me. Now, oftentimes, the best way to achieve something with the mind is through the body. To be focused usually means we also need to be alert, biologically speaking. Now, you can be focused and calm, which is ideal for creative states, but you can't be focused sleepy. So to increase focus, you first may need to increase your level of arousal. And you can do this through forms of respiration that promote norepinephrine and cortisol release, such as 20 to 30 fast, big breaths. This is very similar to Wim Hof breathing or Tumo breathing. You can use music, but be smart, because if you're focused already, you don't need the music. It can be a distraction. You can just get up and get moving. That can help. And caffeine can raise your alertness. And the cool things about these are generally accepted around the office for increasing alertness to help focus. But for focus specifically, I like to do things that increase curiosity and wonder. Also, physiologically, when you focus your visual field, you increase your focus through your visual attention. Thank you, Andrew Huberman, for this tip. I mentioned in the IT example earlier, sitting down and focusing on your screen before getting back to work. And this is that feature of your visual system in action. One thing you might use is a concentration grid. Where our vision goes, our attention goes. You can increase focus by increasing stress through tension, by raising the stakes or accountability. Here's an example. Tell somebody when you're going to have your project done, and if you don't get it done, you're going to pay them $100. Take it for what it's worth. Your brain releases the neurotransmitter acetylcholine when you focus, and there are other ways to increase it exogenously, but I like to focus only on behavioral-based ways that are office-friendly. And this video is in no way meant to be exhaustive on focus, but this is just giving you a way to start building your FRP, your Focus Recalibration Protocol. Whether it's checking down on your values, a heuristic for getting back to focus, you could use a visual cue to remember to act like a pro, or increase your curiosity, or using your visual field to visually increase your attention, or even increasing your alertness if you need it. Use these things and go build your FRP. And now that you know this, stay focused, my friends. Win the day. Sincerely, your #1 sidekick.